What's good, y'all? It's Western Groove. I'm about to do this unboxing of a giveaway. It was for Austin Torres. Austin Torres is a small content maker here on YouTube. I like to follow local Bay Area, Northern California, fishing in general, outdoorsman channels. He has one. I'll have him linked in the description. I never really won one of these giveaway things before, so, it was pretty cool, supporting a smaller channel, get you places sometimes. So pretty much all I did was, I subscribed, which I already was when he dropped the video. I think I liked the video, made a comment. It was some sort of raffle, and my name got chosen. So after that, I contacted him on Instagram, sent my address, and I don't know, in probably a week or something, I got a box of some goodies. And we're going to go over those. Now, I'll say they're mostly bass fishing accessories and whatnot. And I don't really bass fish. It's nothing that I have against it. It's just something that I don't go out of my way to do much. But now that I have some of the tools that you need to do that, that might be something that I choose to do more often. So yeah, like I was saying, I don't really bass fish. It's nothing that I have against it. Just whenever I do get out and go fishing, I like to catch fish that I can eat. And people eat bass, but just not typically. And, sometimes I feel like a douchebag if I just happen to catch a bass because I don't go for them. And it's of length, so I keep it. And, so let's begin. So first, I'll show you guys these first. Just container, keep lures and baits and whatnot. Other accessories. This one is Plano. I really like this one because I needed a smaller one, so this is gonna really come in handy. We have this one here, Bass Pro Shop one. It's way larger, as you can see. Can make the compartments. I don't necessarily have a plan with this one quite yet. It might just become another overall bait and lure and tackle holder, just because my current fishing backpack is really small, so I want to get a bigger one. Because I have another box that's sort of this size that I keep in there, but I've been needing something that's a backpack that's more significant so that I can keep more things in it. So this might go in there when I get that. Alright, so now let's go into the baits. And since I'm not much of a bass fisherman myself, when I pull these things out, I'll just kind of, this isn't going to be really educational for you gaining information, I guess not, but we'll just be kind of learning and going through the things together. So first on the table, we have these here. I believe they call these swim baits, even though they're not soft plastics. I'm excited to try these. I've actually wanted to try these really bad. There's been times where I've seen fish going after like the medium-sized minnows and whatnot, and I think these would be perfect for them. And I've never fished one of these, so I'm glad that he gave me that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comes with 5 of them. I'm glad he gave me that many because I'm sure I'm gonna get these caught up. So usually what I like to do until I learn how to fish something, if I have a pack, I try to look and see which patterns, which colors or patterns are the most unrealistic, and I try to use that one so that if I get it snagged, I still have other colors and better colors that I can use. But yeah, I definitely can't wait to use these. I don't think you would put these on a swivel, right? I don't know if they would still float. Let's see if they have like those shakers in them. Yeah, so it has the shakers in them. It makes noise. So yeah, I can't wait to use these. I want to try them out, see how the action is. Use these to go after some bass. What else do I think would eat these? Large trout, striper. You know, if I know that there's stripers somewhere, I definitely try some of these out. Give those a chance. Let's move on to the next one. We have here, oops, I'm bumping stuff. All right, so we have here a Strike King 1.5 ounce spinnerbait. I actually have a pack of these because, you know, when you first get into fishing, before you kind of have an idea of, you know, what fish are available in your area, what you're going after exactly, how to go after them, the sort of default fishing tackle are for bass. So, you know, I used to see these in my dad's tackle box, so I just picked up a pack of cheap ones from Amazon, and I've thrown them quite a bit. I've never caught anything on them, never had a bite or anything. And these are pretty. This is pretty large. You know, I don't have the biggest hand in the world, but I am a grown adult, and like, you know, so that thing is pretty nice size on it. So yeah, I could only imagine that a big mouth bass would bite onto there. Or I don't know if these are supposed to be like other little bait fish swimming around, and then this one is a different color just so that the bass chooses it and it bites onto this. I don't know, but I'll try this out. And I'll give it a shot. I'll go to some places that I know have bass, and I'll definitely give these a try. These are like, to me, these are like quintessential. When I think of fishing bass, I think these, because these are just what I saw. And not that the people I grew up fishing with were bass fishermen, and that might be why I'm not so big on it, but when they would go after bass, this is what they were using. Grab the next thing. So these are 4.5 inch straight tail morning dawn red flake. So 4.5 inch straight tail robo worm, morning dawn red flake. 10 of them in this pack. So yeah, same thing as I said before. Default fishing tackle kind of gears you towards bass fishing, you know, once you start getting into lures. So I have some worms, and I've never caught a bass on a worm. I've honestly only caught a bass on like a rooster tail, or, you know, not a rooster tail, I forgot what you would call them, where they're spinners, but they're like rooster tails, but they don't have the tail on them. That's what I've caught a few bass on. But I kind of liking these. It looks like they have some kind of salt in them. You see that on the bag. Morning Dawn with red flake. So I don't know if you can see that color. I mean, it's an interesting color. Okay, it says that it has a salt release system. It releases the salt over time. Not for human consumption. We shouldn't eat these. So I feel like these will have a lot of action. They're tapered at the end. They're real skinny. So I think these will have a lot of action. They're real skinny down here at the ends. And then they thicken up there. So I think, you know, whatever I put them on, this skinny tail will have a lot of action and could get me a bass. Next here we have a Extreme Performance Series Top Water Surface Lure Laser Eye Bass Pro Shop brand. Is there any weight or anything like that? I don't see a weight. But what do they call these? Poppers or something like that? I fished lures like this before for bass with no luck. But I know that top water for bass is a bit more difficult. You know, it like kind of like has to be the right conditions for that. And I haven't fished for bass with the top water lure somewhere where I know that bass are pretty active. But I've never caught one on one of these, so I would be excited for that. Top water bites are amazing. And while we're on those, let's also show these. These a couple frogs. I fished frogs before. Some cheap Amazon frogs. They definitely didn't have these back spinners. Actually, let's open this one up. Let's open this one up. So yeah, the ones that I've had definitely haven't had these. And I want to say I've seen these before. So as you reel it through the water, these will spin and create like the disturbance in the water. So what I'm guessing, I'm not really sure, is I won't have to... I'm trying to say this. Usually when I use my frog, I don't have it in here to show you, but since it doesn't have this, to give it action, I kind of have to pop it. I kind of have to fish it how I believe you're supposed to fish a popper, where you give it a little bit of slack line and you kind of, you know, give it a tug, and then you let it go back into its motion, and that'll kind of, when you give it the tug, it'll pull it this way, but the way the popper's made, it'll like pull itself back that way, so it'll kind of create this kind of motion. So I do that with these, but because mine doesn't have these, so I'm thinking that with this, I can throw it in, I can give it a boom on the reel, and it'll spin that, create some disturbance on top, and hopefully a bass will see this on top and come strike that. So it's those two here. Flash keeps going on and off, so I'll just show you these one more time. The skinny at the bottom, thicker up top. Never used them. Now here we got some more worms. Some Gary Yamamoto custom baits. So these are something that you hear a lot about coming, you know, when you're getting into fishing. 4-inch Yamasenko, a Senko. So these are like, so how I kind of said, this type of spinner bait is like quintessential bass fishing to me, in my mind. Just because that's what I always saw growing up. I feel like these are the actual quintessential bass fishing lure, or just some Senkos. I've thrown worms, no success on them. Last time I've thrown worms, I was more ignorant with them than I am now. So nothing that, I wasn't really doing anything correctly with them. But, that's okay. It'd be like that sometimes. So yeah, for these, what I would think about them is, these would be like a Texas rig, wacky rig, on a Carolina rig. And I would think of these as more of a, like if I was going to drop shot and do like, I don't think they call it wacky, I don't know, but not when it's in the middle, but when you just like hook it right through the nose on a drop shot, and then I could just like see this like going crazy in the water. So let's move on and see what's next. Let's look at the hooks. So these here are some size 1 wacky hooks. So I'm guessing these are for wacky rigging worms. So I'm thinking that these two match up, that I would wacky rig these, and that would be just, tying this off to the line or whatnot, and just kind of sticking them in the middle here so that, the sides hang off, and then you just kind of throw them in there and you let it fall. Then when it hits the bottom, you kind of give it a couple jigs upward. That's what I believe. I could be completely off. And then here we have, it comes with a reusable storage unit, some size 4/0 worm hooks, some offset worm hooks. So I'm not really sure with these. I'm thinking, let's get these open. Let's open these ones here. Well, they all came out just like I didn't want them to do. Perfect. Alright, so what do I know or think about these offset worm hooks? Just putting them back so that I can grab one of them there. Get this trash over here. So what I know or think about these offset worm hooks. Try to get that to focus. I think it's called offset because it's not right down the middle. Kind of looks like it is a little bit, but I don't know. So what I think with these are, I believe these are your typical, like, if you're gonna Texas rig, maybe for these you would still do the drop shot. You could make a drop shot and you could put that on the tip there, or maybe if you were gonna do a drop shot, drop that there. If you're gonna do a drop shot, you could still just rig the worm completely from there and have this much out. Let's see how it would fit on one of these baits. Yeah, I guess you could still drop shot it or drop shot it there. I feel like with these, with the shape of these wouldn't work on a drop shot, but I could be wrong about that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to experiment with these and just kind of see what works and get out there and try something. But those are the hooks. Couple more things in here. Oh, some football jigs. Okay. So maybe I could use these football jigs. Oh, let's see the weight. These are 3 1/8 ounce. I believe that's what it's trying to say. Football head. Jigs by Strike King. Let's pull these out. Okay, these are my first time with these, so I get the football jig reference, and I've been hearing a lot about these lately. I believe with these, you would use something like you could use a worm. You need to get it to the bottom. But it'll take a lot of, when you just want the worm to just sit right on the bottom. I don't think these float. These are Sinkos. They sink. So maybe those don't go for that. I'm trying to think. What do people put on here? People usually put like some kind of jig thing with like all the floof stuff. And then they put like a creature bait or something on the back, right? I'm not sure. I'll have to look up what to do with these jig heads. And there's 3 of them. And I think with these, once you have them rigged up, you just throw them in. It's supposed to be for like high grass. And you can just pull them through. But I would feel like these will get caught up, but I don't know. I don't know anything about bass fishing. All right. The red-eyed shad from Strike King. I've actually heard a lot about these baits, so I'm excited to use this. It's a 1/2 ounce. As you can see there, Strike King, red-eyed shad. And this looks to me to be... Why am I forgetting the name? It's not a crankbait. There's no bill on this. They have a name. Is it on here? Oh, these are made in Costa Rica. Yeah, I don't see the name of what these are called. There's a name for these type of baits, though. These type of lures. They're not crankbaits. They're not jerk baits. I can't think of the name. But I know the name of these. I don't have any of these, but I know the name of these. And I want to say with these, you tie them on, and since they don't have a bill, you drop them in. You cast them out there. Let's open it up while I talk. You cast it out there. You let it fall to the bottom because it'll give you some action on the way down. Sometimes what you do is on the way down, before you ever let it hit the bottom, you give it some action. So someone can let me know if I'm ignorant, but whoa, this is stuck. Okay, there we go. So It is a beautiful bait, actually. Like, this is almost like one of those things where I never had baits like this because they're expensive, and I know I'm gonna get this snag, like, for a fact. Like, this is too good to last me like anything. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to use some of my cheap Amazon bought, you know, in the pack of 20 for $10 lures, you know, see how grassy and, you know, what kind of things are underwater. And then if I feel good about it, I can bust this out. But this is how I believe this fish is. So I believe you cast it out and it goes doop. And as it falls down, it falls like that. Going sideways and going, you know, back and forth and going down and down and down. So I think what you do is on its way down, you give it some tugs and you'll get a boom, boom, boom. That's how I think these work. Where like with the crankbait, you would cast it in and then you would just start reeling and then maybe stop reeling, reel it, stop reeling, reel it. Because the crankbait gets its action from being reeled where it'll like go to its depth and it'll go like that. But this seems to be a little bit more subtle and boom, and pull it up. So yeah, this will be fun too. For bass, striped bass. That's something I'm a little bit more interested in than just regular bass, but you know, I'll go after whatever at the end of the day. And here we have a football jig from Strike King, 3/8 ounce. Let's get this bad boy open. And I guess I'll go ahead and open the no, I won't open the worms yet. I feel like you guys have seen the worms. It's nothing new. So what is this color on this jig? Yeah, I don't know the color. I can't find the plastic part I just ripped off of this. But anyways, let's go through it. So this, I've been hearing a lot about these lately. This is a football jig. Looks to be, you know, some kind of green with black flag, orange pumpkin type of thing. Has the weed guard on it. Weed guard goes to the barb, so that's good. And I believe that, like with these, like this feels like something you don't buy. Like this comes all together, you know, so I'm not exactly sure what to do with these. But these I see. So, to my understanding, tie it on, throw it in the grass, and you drag it along the bottom. And then what they would do with something like this is they would take like a swim bait or the end of a worm or something, and they would attach it to the back of this. Just put it on there and put it up against there to give it some more action in the back. And that's supposed to be one of the best bass baits. So that's all I got. That's everything in the box. Let's get it all together. So this is everything I ended up getting from the giveaway from Torres channel, plus the swim baits here. Just want to say thank you again. I'm grateful for this stuff. You know, these are honestly, like, I'm the guy that, You know, like I said earlier, I buy the pack of 20 for $10 lures from Amazon, one of those cheap companies. Uh, so I'm glad to have some quality products. I can't wait to get out and try them. I'm not much of a bass fisherman, skill-wise, and it's something that I've just never done a bunch. But I am happy to have something new to try. That's one of my favorite parts about fishing is just trying things, getting skunked. You know, I'm still in that period where I average getting skunked more than I do being successful, unless I'm just going for, you know, bluegill, red ear, something like that. So it'll just be something else for me to practice with, you know, just make myself more versatile. So again, really thankful. You guys should subscribe to Austin Torres, especially if you're into bass fishing. If you live in Northern California, I'm sure you've been out to the Delta. I want to say he fishes there a lot. He fishes a lot of local Bay Area lakes in Northern California, bodies of water. So, you know, just sometimes seeing what these other people are doing to be successful there can help you out a lot. Switch and Groove, and I'm out.